Time, often perceived as a straight line with a clear beginning and end, is in fact a much more complex and non-linear entity, according to various theories in physics and philosophy. The idea of non-linear time suggests that past, present, and future are not distinct, separate chunks, but rather interconnected dimensions, where events can influence one another in unexpected ways. This perspective is supported by the theory of relativity proposed by Albert Einstein, which shows that time can stretch and compress depending on the speed and gravity experienced by an observer. For instance, when astronauts travel at high speeds in space, they experience time at a different rate than people on Earth, a phenomenon known as time dilation, which illustrates that time is not absolute, but rather relative and subject to the conditions of the universe. Furthermore, in quantum physics, the notion of time becomes even more intricate. Researchers have suggested that particles can exist in multiple states at once, leading to the idea that the future can influence the past, a concept that challenges our traditional understanding of cause and effect. This is exemplified in the phenomenon of quantum entanglement, where particles become linked and the state of one can instantaneously affect another, regardless of the distance separating them. Such findings raise intriguing questions about the nature of reality, suggesting that our linear perception of time might be a limitation of human understanding rather than an objective truth. Philosophically, thinkers like Henri Bergson have argued that time is more about the flow of experiences rather than a series of measurable moments. He introduced the idea of duration, which emphasizes the qualitative aspects of time, highlighting how our experiences and memories shape our perception of past and future, creating a more fluid understanding of time. This aligns with the way we often experience nostalgia, where memories of the past feel as vivid and impactful as present moments, blurring the lines between different temporal states. Moreover, in various cultures and spiritual traditions, time is often viewed cyclically rather than linearly. For example, many indigenous cultures perceive time as a recurring cycle, where events and seasons repeat in a harmonious rhythm. This cyclical understanding of time can be seen in practices such as seasonal festivals and agricultural cycles, which emphasize a connection to nature and the universe. Such perspectives invite us to reconsider how we live our lives, encouraging a deeper connection to the present and an appreciation for the interconnectedness of all moments, past and future. Additionally, advancements in technology, particularly in virtual reality and simulations, the illusion of present moments is a fascinating concept that dives deep into our perception of time and reality. Many people believe they experience life in a series of clear, distinct moments, yet in truth, our brains are constantly processing information, and the way we perceive time may not be as linear as we think. This idea can be tied to something known as the specious present, a term coined by philosopher E.R. Clay, which suggests that our perception of the present is more like a flowing river rather than a series of still images. When we look around us and think about the present moment, we often believe we are experiencing it fully, but in reality, our brains are always a little behind, processing what just happened while constantly predicting what is about to occur. This creates a fascinating disconnect, as we think we are living in the now, but the truth is, we are often just a tiny fraction of a second away from the actual moment. Moreover, there are studies in neuroscience that illustrate how our brains interpret time, showing that the brain takes a moment to process stimuli, which means that when we think we are experiencing a moment, we are actually reflecting on it just after it has occurred. This can lead to the feeling that we are living in a series of presents, yet the very nature of consciousness means that we can never fully grasp the present moment, as it slips away almost instantly. Interestingly, many philosophers and scientists argue that our perception of time is shaped by various factors, including memory, attention, and expectation, which all play a role in how we experience the present. For instance, when we are engaged in a task we find enjoyable, like playing a game or listening to music, we often lose track of time, feeling as if we are fully immersed in the moment, even though this immersion is partly an illusion created by our brain's engagement. Additionally, the concept of mindfulness has gained popularity in recent years, promoting the idea of being fully aware and present in the moment. Yet, even in mindfulness practices, there is a recognition that our minds can drift, often reflecting on the past or future, rather than being fully in the now. This dance between thought and experience illustrates how complex our relationship with the present moment can be. As we strive to capture it, while it remains elusive. Furthermore, cultural perspectives on time can also influence how we perceive the present, with some cultures emphasizing a linear view of time, while others embrace a relativity, a theory put forth by Albert Einstein in the early 20th century, revolutionized our understanding of space and time, leading to the fascinating concept of time dilation. According to Einstein's theory of special relativity, which he introduced in 1905, time is not a constant. Instead, it can vary depending on how fast an object is moving relative to another object. This means that time can actually pass at different rates for people in different frames of reference. For example, if one twin were to travel in a spaceship at a significant fraction of the speed of light, while the other twin stayed on Earth, the traveling twin would age more slowly than the twin on Earth. This phenomenon, often referred to as the twin paradox, illustrates how time can stretch depending on relative velocity. The key to understanding time dilation lies in the equation derived from Einstein's work, which shows that as an object approaches the speed of light, time for that object slows down relative to an observer who is not moving at the same speed. This effect is not just theoretical. It has been confirmed through numerous experiments. For instance, atomic clocks placed on fast-moving jets or satellites have recorded time passing more slowly compared to clocks on the ground, proving that time dilation is a real and measurable effect. Additionally, the concept of general relativity, introduced by Einstein in 1915, adds another layer to our understanding of time. General relativity describes how massive objects like planets and stars warp the fabric of space-time around them. This means that time runs slower in stronger gravitational fields. For example, time passes slightly more slowly on the surface of the Earth compared to a location high above it, where the gravitational pull is weaker. This effect, while subtle, has practical implications, such as in the Global Positioning System, or GPS, where satellites must account for both special and general relativity to provide accurate location data. The implications of time dilation stretch beyond just scientific theory. They challenge our everyday understanding of time as a uniform experience. Imagine for a moment how different the universe might be for travelers moving through space at high speeds, or for those living in environments with strong gravitational fields. The understanding of time as a malleable concept opens up intriguing discussions about the nature of reality and our perception of it. As we continue to explore the universe, uncovering its mysteries, the effects of relativity and time dilation remind us that the cosmos is far more complex than one. The perception of time varies greatly across different cultures, influencing how people organize their lives, prioritize tasks, and interact with one another. In many Western cultures, time is often viewed as linear, moving from past to present to future, which leads to a focus on punctuality, deadlines, and efficiency. This cultural perspective promotes a sense of urgency, where being on time is considered a sign of respect and responsibility. In contrast, several Eastern cultures, such as those found in India and many Latin American countries, tend to have a more flexible approach to time. Here, relationships and personal connections often take precedence over strict adherence to schedules, leading to a more fluid understanding of time. For instance, in cultures that prioritize relationships, such as in many indigenous groups, time is often perceived as cyclical, with a strong connection to nature and the seasons. This cyclical view can be seen in rituals and practices that celebrate the changing of the seasons, emphasizing harmony with the environment rather than adhering to a rigid timetable. In some cultures, such as those in African time, the concept of African time reflects this flexible approach, where events may start later than planned, as the emphasis is on gathering and enjoying the company of others, rather than strictly following a clock. Moreover, the perception of time can also influence concepts of success and productivity. In cultures where time is seen as a commodity, individuals may feel pressured to achieve more within a limited time frame, often leading to stress and burnout. On the other hand, in cultures where time is viewed as abundant and less structured, there may be a greater appreciation for leisure, relaxation, and the present moment. This difference can affect everything from workplace dynamics to social interactions and even family life. Interestingly, technological advancements and globalization are beginning to influence these traditional perceptions of time. As communication becomes faster and more accessible, people from diverse cultures are finding themselves navigating between their own cultural understanding of time and the increasingly rapid pace of the modern world. This can create a blend of time perceptions, where individuals may feel torn between valuing relationships and adhering to the demands of a more time-sensitive society. In addition, studies have shown that language itself can shape how people think about time. For example, in languages that emphasize the past and future, speakers may have a different relationship with time compared to those who use language that focuses on the present. This linguistic influence can lead to variations in memory, planning, and even decision-making processes across cultures. Furthermore, the role of spirituality and philosophy, time and memory are indeed deeply interconnected, and this relationship has fascinated scientists and philosophers for centuries. Our perception of time is often shaped by our memories, which can influence how we experience the passage of time. When we look back on moments filled with joy, sadness, or excitement, those memories can stretch time, making it feel like it lasted longer than it actually did. For instance, a thrilling event, like a wedding or a vacation, might seem to have taken forever when we reminisce about it, even though it was only a few days or hours. Conversely, mundane moments, like waiting in line or sitting in a boring meeting, can feel like they drag on forever, partly because we don't have strong memories associated with them. Research in psychology shows that our brain processes memories in a way that can alter our perception of time. When we create new memories, especially during significant or novel experiences, our brain records many details, making those moments stand out. This abundance of details can lead us to feel that those periods were longer than they were, simply because we have so much to recall. On the other hand, when our experiences are repetitive or lack novelty, we may not form strong memories, which can lead us to feel that time is passing quickly, as there is little to hold on to in our minds. Additionally, the way we remember the past can also shape our expectations for the future. If we remember a time as being particularly enjoyable, we may anticipate similar experiences with excitement. This can create a loop where our memories influence our perception of time, which in turn can affect how we create new memories. Our ability to recall events can also be affected by our emotional state. For example, during times of stress or trauma, our memories may become fragmented or less vivid, which can impact how we perceive time during those periods. Moreover, neuroscience has shown that certain brain regions, such as the hippocampus, play crucial roles in both memory formation and our sense of time. The hippocampus helps us not only to store and retrieve memories, but also to understand the sequence of events, which is essential for placing memories in a temporal context. This means that when we think about what has happened in our lives, we are inherently linking those memories to the timeline of our experiences. Interestingly, cultural factors can also influence how we perceive time and memory. Different cultures have distinct ways of understanding and relating to time, which can affect how individuals within those cultures remember their pasts. For instance, quantum mechanics, a fundamental theory in physics, describes the physical properties of nature at the scale of atoms and subatomic particles, but it also leads to fascinating implications when it comes to the concept of time. In classical physics, time is often treated as a linear progression, a constant that ticks away uniformly. But quantum mechanics introduces a more complex framework where time may not be as straightforward as it seems. One of the intriguing aspects of quantum mechanics is the idea of superposition, where particles can exist in multiple states at once, and this concept challenges our everyday understanding of time. For instance, when a particle is in superposition, it does not have a definite position or state until it is observed or measured, leading to questions about how time interacts with these quantum states. The famous double-slit experiment illustrates this phenomenon, showing how particles like electrons can behave both as particles and waves, depending on whether they are being observed. This raises compelling questions about the role of the observer in the fabric of reality, and how time might be perceived differently depending on the state of observation. Furthermore, entanglement, another key principle of quantum mechanics, suggests that particles can become linked in such a way that the state of one particle instantaneously affects the state of another, regardless of the distance separating them. This challenges the classical notion of locality and suggests that information can be shared instantaneously, potentially influencing our understanding of time itself. In addition, theories like quantum gravity attempt to reconcile quantum mechanics with general relativity, proposing that time may not be a fundamental aspect of the universe, but rather an emergent property arising from more fundamental quantum processes. This aligns with ideas presented by physicists like Carlo Rovelli, who suggests that time as we know it is an illusion, and in the quantum realm the flow of time could be more like a series of snapshots rather than a continuous stream. This perspective invites us to reconsider our assumptions about the past, present, and future, and how they might be interconnected in ways we have yet to fully understand. Moreover, the concept of time dilation in relativity, where time moves slower in strong gravitational fields or at high speeds, could also find connections with quantum mechanics. As scientists explore the uncharted territories of quantum physics, they ponder how these principles might intersect with our experience of time, potentially leading to new technologies or deeper insights into the nature of reality. The implications of quantum mechanics on time raise profound philosophical questions, challenging our understanding of existence itself. And time is a fascinating concept that many people take for granted, yet it serves as a fundamental aspect of our universe. In recent years, some scientists and philosophers have begun to explore the idea of time as an emergent property, suggesting that time might not be a fundamental part of the fabric of reality, but rather something that arises from deeper physical processes. This perspective challenges traditional views that treat time as an absolute entity, flowing independently of the events that occur within it. Instead, the emergent property viewpoint posits that time could emerge from more basic interactions at the quantum level, much like temperature arises from the motion of particles. One compelling argument for time as an emergent property comes from the field of quantum mechanics. In quantum physics, particles exist in a state of probability, and their behavior can seem disconnected from the classical understanding of time. For instance, particles can be entangled, meaning that the state of one particle can instantaneously affect another, even across vast distances, raising questions about the role of time in such interactions. This phenomenon suggests that our classical understanding of time may not fully capture the complexities of reality at the quantum level. Additionally, theories in cosmology, particularly those related to black holes and the Big Bang, further support the idea of time as emergent. When considering the nature of black holes, physicists have noted that as matter gets pulled into a black hole, it experiences extreme gravitational effects that appear to warp time itself. Near the event horizon, time seems to slow down dramatically, leading to predictive of the traditional understanding of time altogether. Another intriguing aspect of time as an emergent property can be found in thermodynamics, particularly in the second law, which states that entropy or disorder in a closed system tends to increase over time. This phenomenon gives rise to what we perceive as the arrow of time, where we see events moving from order to disorder. Some theorists suggest that this increase in entropy could be a fundamental driver of time's emergence, as the progression of entropy creates a directional flow that we associate with the passage of time. Thus, in this view, time is not a pre-existing framework. Rather, it is a result of the interactions and transformations of energy and matter. The implications of considering time as an emergent property extend beyond physics and into philosophy, prompting questions about time pressure. A common experience in today's fast-paced world can significantly affect our psychological well-being, influencing both our behavior and our mental health. When individuals feel pressed for time, whether at work, in school, or during daily activities, the sense of urgency can lead to increased stress levels. This stress, in turn, can manifest in various ways, including anxiety, irritability, and even physical symptoms like headaches or fatigue. Research shows that when people face tight deadlines, their brains often shift into a fight or flight response, which can hinder clear thinking and decision-making. For instance, a study published in the journal Psychological Science found that time pressure could lead to impulsive choices, as individuals may rush their decisions, prioritizing speed over thoroughness. Moreover, the psychological impact of time pressure can vary depending on the individual's coping mechanisms. Some people may thrive under pressure, finding that it motivates them to focus and work more efficiently. Others, however, may experience overwhelming anxiety, which can lead to decreased productivity and even burnout. This difference in response can be attributed to various factors, such as personality traits, past experiences, and support systems. The concept of time anxiety has emerged, referring to the fear of not having enough time, which can result in procrastination and avoidance behaviors, further compounding stress. Additionally, the pressure of time can affect our relationships. When individuals are busy and feel rushed, they may have less time for social interactions, leading to feelings of isolation. This can create a cycle where the lack of social support increases stress levels, making it even harder to manage time effectively. Studies have shown that people who maintain strong social connections are better equipped to handle stress, suggesting that investing time in relationships can help mitigate the negative effects of time pressure. Interestingly, cultural differences also play a role in how time pressure is perceived and managed. In some cultures, punctuality and strict adherence to schedules are emphasized, which can lead to higher stress levels when deadlines are looming. In contrast, other cultures may have a more flexible approach to time, which can reduce the psychological burden associated with deadlines. This cultural perspective highlights the importance of understanding how societal norms influence our experiences with time pressure. To cope with the psychological effects of time pressure, individuals can adopt various strategies. Time management techniques, such as prioritizing tasks, breaking projects into smaller steps, and setting realistic deadlines can alleviate some of the stress associated with feeling rushed. Mindfulness practices such as time in dreams can often feel very different from time in reality, a phenomenon that has puzzled researchers and dreamers alike for centuries. In dreams, the perception of time can stretch, compress, or even seem to vanish entirely, leading to experiences where a few minutes in real life can feel like hours or even days in the dream world. This curious alteration in the flow of time might be due to the brain's activity during different sleep stages, particularly during REM sleep, where most vivid dreaming occurs. During this stage, the brain is highly active, and while it processes experiences and emotions, it can also manipulate the perception of time, making events feel more expansive or rushed. Interestingly, studies have shown that when we dream, our brainwaves resemble those of being awake, which might explain why dreams can feel so real and why time can behave differently. The brain's internal clock, which typically helps us gauge the passing of time while we are awake, seems to lose its grip during dreams. This could be linked to the absence of external time cues, like the position of the sun or the ticking of a clock, which we rely on in waking life. Furthermore, the content of dreams can also influence our perception of time. For instance, a thrilling dream filled with action and excitement may feel longer than a mundane dream where little happens. In addition, the phenomenon of time dilation in dreams raises intriguing questions about consciousness and how we experience reality. Some psychologists believe that dreams might serve as a way for our minds to process experiences, emotions, and even fears, allowing us to explore scenarios without the constraints of time as we know it. This might help explain why some dreams can feel so profound and impactful, as they seem to transport us to another realm where the usual rules do not apply. Moreover, there are anecdotal reports from dreamers who have experienced what they describe as time travel within their dreams, where they revisit past events or even explore future possibilities, all within the span of a single night's sleep. While these experiences can feel incredibly vivid and real, they often leave us questioning the nature of time itself and whether it is an absolute construct or something more fluid and malleable. As scientists continue to explore the mysteries of dreams and consciousness, the fascinating relationship between time in dreams and reality remains a captivating topic for both researchers and curious minds alike. The differences in how we perceive time in dreams compared to waking life highlight the complexities of consciousness as well as the intricate workings of our brains. As we age, our perception of time can change in intriguing ways, leading to the fascinating question of how the passage of years impacts our experience of time itself. Research suggests that older adults often perceive time as moving more quickly than when they were younger. This sensation could be attributed to a variety of factors, including the way our brains process information and the accumulation of experiences over a lifetime. When we're children, each new experience, each moment is vivid and significant, making time feel slow, as if we're living in a constant state of discovery. However, as we age, many experiences begin to repeat, and our days can blur together, leading to a feeling that time is speeding up. Moreover, the concept of novelty plays a key role. According to psychologists, when we encounter new experiences, our brains take in more information, which makes time feel longer. Conversely, when we engage in routine activities, our brains process less new information, and thus time seems to fly by. For older adults who may have settled into more predictable routines, this leads to a sense of time passing quickly. Additionally, emotional factors can influence time perception. Positive emotions, often associated with joyful experiences, can stretch our perception of time, making moments feel richer and longer. In contrast, negative emotions such as stress or sadness can compress our perception, making time feel like it's racing away. This relationship between emotion and time perception is particularly interesting, as it shows how our mental state can drastically alter our experience of time. Biologically, aging affects our brain's processing speed and cognitive functions, which can also contribute to changes in how we perceive time. Studies have shown that as we get older, the brain's ability to encode and retrieve memories may slow down, which can lead to a distorted sense of time. When we reflect on our past, if memories seem fewer or less vivid, it may feel like less time has passed, while in reality, many years have gone by. Interestingly, the phenomenon of time perception does not affect everyone the same way. Individual differences, such as personality, life experiences, and even cultural background, can shape how we perceive the passage of time. Some people might find themselves cherishing small moments and feeling like time is abundant, while others might feel overwhelmed and perceive it as fleeting. Furthermore, research indicates that engaging in new activities or learning new skills can help counteract the feeling of time speeding up. By introducing novelty into our lives, in Buddhist philosophy, time is approached quite differently than in Western thought, which often views it as a linear progression from past through present to future. Instead, Buddhism emphasizes the concept of impermanence, or anicca, which suggests that all things are in constant flux and nothing remains the same, not even time itself. This understanding of time can lead to insights about life and existence. For instance, in Buddhist teachings, the present moment is seen as the only reality we can experience directly, while the past is merely a memory and the future is an uncertainty. This focus on the present is often encapsulated in the practice of mindfulness, where practitioners cultivate awareness of their thoughts, feelings, and sensations as they arise, fostering a deeper connection with the here and now. Moreover, the cyclical nature of time is central to many Buddhist beliefs, particularly in relation to the concepts of samsara and karma. Samsara refers to the cycle of birth, death, and rebirth, where beings are caught in an ongoing loop of existence, influenced by their actions, or karma. This cyclical view contrasts sharply with the more linear perspectives found in other cultures. In this way, time becomes not just a measure of moments, but a profound aspect of existence itself, where each action has consequences that reverberate through time, affecting future lives and experiences. Additionally, the Buddhist calendar, which varies across different cultures, reflects this philosophical understanding of time. For example, in Theravada Buddhism, the lunar calendar is often used, with significant festivals such as Vesak, which celebrates the birth, enlightenment, and death of the Buddha, marking important moments that connect practitioners with the teachings and the life cycle of the Buddha himself. This calendar emphasizes the importance of seasonal changes and natural cycles, reinforcing the idea that time is intertwined with the rhythms of nature. In meditation, practitioners often explore their relationship with time, learning to let go of the past and not to cling to the future, but instead to embrace the present moment fully. This practice can lead to a sense of liberation, where individuals realize that the pressure of time can be alleviated by a shift in perception. Some advanced practitioners, through deep meditation, report experiences where the sense of time dissolves altogether, leading to a profound sense of peace and connection to the universe. Furthermore, the teachings of impermanence also extend to the understanding of the self in Buddhism. The idea of anatta, or non-self, challenges the notion of language, plays a crucial role in how we conceptualize time, shaping our understanding and perception of its passage in ways that can be quite profound. Different cultures, for instance, have various ways of expressing time, which influences how their speakers think about it. For example, in many Western cultures, time is often viewed as a linear construct, moving from the past through the present and into the future, which is reflected in the English language through phrases like looking forward or behind us. This linear perspective can lead to a more scheduled, punctual lifestyle, where planning and deadlines are prioritized. In contrast, some languages, such as Aymara, a language spoken in the Andes, express time differently. Aymara speakers often refer to the past as being in front of them and the future as behind them. This intriguing perspective suggests that their cultural and linguistic framework places greater emphasis on memory and the importance of the past, influencing how they engage with time in daily life. Such linguistic variations can lead to different cognitive patterns, shaping how people experience time itself, emphasizing perhaps a more communal approach to the past and future. Moreover, the use of tense in language, which indicates the timing of actions, plays a significant part in how we understand events. In English, we have present, past, and future tenses, allowing us to clearly distinguish when an action occurs. However, in some languages, like Mandarin Chinese, the concept of tense is handled differently, often relying more on context or aspect rather than strict temporal markers. This can lead to a more fluid understanding of time where events are seen more as part of an ongoing narrative rather than fixed points in time, allowing speakers to experience time in a way that feels less rigid. Additionally, the vocabulary we use to describe time can influence our emotional responses to it. For instance, in cultures with rich terminology around time, such as in the field of business, where phrases like "time is money" are prevalent, people may feel a greater pressure to utilize time efficiently, leading to a more hurried lifestyle. On the other hand, cultures that have a more relaxed approach to time, often characterized by phrases that celebrate leisure and enjoyment, may foster a sense of patience and mindfulness, allowing individuals to savor moments rather than rush through them. The role of metaphor in language also affects how we conceptualize time. For instance, time is often described using spatial metaphors. People say they spend time, save time, or invest time. The concept of time travel has sparked countless theories, debates, and imaginative narratives, capturing the fascination of scientists, writers, and thinkers alike. One of the most intriguing aspects of time travel is the paradox it creates, particularly the grandfather paradox. This thought experiment raises a question. What would happen if you traveled back in time and prevented your grandfather from meeting your grandmother? If that were to happen, you would never be born, which leads to the logical inconsistency of your existence. This paradox highlights the complexities involved in altering past events, suggesting that even small changes could have monumental effects on the present and future. Moreover, time travel introduces the idea of alternate timelines, or parallel universes. Some theories propose that, instead of affecting your own timeline, traveling back in time might create a new branch of reality. This means that while you could interact with the past, your actions would not change your original timeline, but rather create an entirely different one, where events unfold differently. This concept has been popularized in various science fiction stories, where characters navigate through different realities, each shaped by different decisions or events. Another fascinating element is the role of black holes in time travel. According to the general theory of relativity, black holes warp space and time around them, which, theoretically, could allow for time travel. If one could find a way to navigate the intense gravitational forces of a rotating black hole, known as a Kerr black hole, it might be possible to enter a wormhole and emerge at another point in time. However, this idea remains purely theoretical, as the practicalities of surviving such a journey, not to mention the technology required to achieve it, are far beyond our current capabilities. Additionally, time dilation is a real phenomenon that supports some aspects of time travel, as described by Einstein's theory of relativity. When an object moves at speeds close to the speed of light, time for that object slows down relative to an observer at rest. This means that astronauts traveling to distant galaxies at high speeds would age slower than their counterparts on Earth, creating a form of time travel into the future. This principle has been confirmed through experiments with atomic clocks on fast-moving jets, revealing that time is not a constant, but rather a variable influenced by speed and gravity. The philosophical implications of time travel are equally compelling. Questions about free will, destiny, and the nature of time itself arise, prompting discussions about whether time is linear or cyclical. Some cultures and philosophies view time as a spiral, where past, the impact of technology on our experience of time, is a fascinating and complex topic, as it intertwines with various aspects of our daily lives, shaping how we perceive, manage, and even value time. With the advent of smartphones, social media, and instant communication, our relationship with time has transformed dramatically. For instance, the ability to connect with others in real time, regardless of distance, has led to a more compressed sense of time, where moments can feel fleeting, yet intensely connected. On one hand, technology has allowed us to multitask efficiently, enabling us to juggle work, personal commitments, and social interactions simultaneously, creating an illusion of having more time. However, this constant connectivity can also lead to a paradoxical effect, where we feel busier than ever, struggling to find moments of peace, as notifications and alerts demand our immediate attention. Moreover, the concept of time has shifted from being linear to more fluid thanks to technology. In the past, people often relied on the sun's position or clocks to gauge time, whereas now we have digital calendars and task management apps that push us to meet deadlines and schedules, often at the expense of spontaneity and leisure. This has led to a culture of urgency, where time is seen as a commodity to be optimized rather than a resource to be savored. Consequently, the pressure to stay productive can create anxiety, making us feel like we are constantly racing against the clock, which can diminish our overall well-being. Interestingly, technology has also changed how we experience time in terms of entertainment and leisure. Streaming services, for example, have revolutionized how we consume media, allowing for binge-watching sessions that can distort our perception of time. Hours can slip away unnoticed as we become engrossed in our favorite shows, leading to a phenomenon known as time dilation, where time feels like it is passing more quickly during highly engaging activities. Conversely, when we engage in less stimulating tasks, like waiting in line or being in a boring meeting, minutes can drag on endlessly, highlighting how our engagement levels influence our time perception. Furthermore, the rise of virtual reality and augmented reality technologies is beginning to reshape our experiences even more profoundly. These technologies can create immersive environments that alter our perception of time and space, making minutes feel like hours, or vice versa. This has implications not only for entertainment, but also for training, education, and even therapy, as people can engage in experiences that feel very real, yet are artificially constructed. The concept of time can be quite fascinating, especially when we explore the differences between circular time and linear time, which are two distinct ways of understanding how time flows. In many Western cultures, time is often viewed as linear, which means it is perceived as a straight line moving from the past, through the present, and into the future, like a timeline where events happen one after the other, creating a cause and effect relationship. This view of time influences how we plan our lives, prioritize tasks, and set goals, often leading to a focus on productivity, achievement, and progress. We often measure our lives using this linear perspective, marking significant milestones such as birthdays and anniversaries, which are celebrated annually, reinforcing the idea that time is a continuous progression from one point to another. In contrast, many indigenous cultures, as well as some Eastern philosophies, view time as circular. This means they see time as a repeating cycle, where events recur and life is seen as a series of seasons, rhythms, and patterns. In this perspective, the past, present, and future are interconnected, and events are not just isolated moments, but part of a larger whole. For example, in many indigenous traditions, the changing of the seasons is celebrated as a reminder of the cyclical nature of life, where death leads to rebirth, and every end is also a new beginning. This view encourages a deeper connection with nature and a sense of belonging to a greater community, emphasizing the importance of harmony and balance in life. The differences between these two concepts of time can significantly influence cultural practices, social structures, and individual perspectives. In societies that embrace linear time, the focus may be on individual achievement and progress, often leading to a sense of urgency and a tendency to rush through life's experiences. Conversely, in cultures that embrace circular time, there is often a greater appreciation for tradition, reflection, and the present moment, fostering a sense of peace and mindfulness. This circular perspective can encourage individuals to live more in tune with nature and its rhythms, rather than constantly striving for future goals. Interestingly, the debate between these two views of time can also be seen in various fields, including psychology, philosophy, and even science. In psychology, the linear view may lead to a more future-oriented mindset, while the circular view can promote a focus on mindfulness and living in the moment. Philosophers have long debated the nature of time itself, questioning whether it is an absolute entity or a human construct. And scientists, the relationship between time and free will is a fascinating topic that intertwines philosophy, physics, and psychology, prompting deep questions about human existence and decision-making. Many philosophers have debated whether our choices are genuinely free or if they are predetermined by events that have already occurred. This brings us to the concept of determinism, which suggests that every event, including human actions, is determined by preceding events in accordance with the laws of nature. If determinism is true, it raises the question of whether we can truly be said to have free will, or is our sense of choice merely an illusion, a feeling that arises from our consciousness without any real power to change outcomes. On the other hand, proponents of free will argue that individuals possess the capacity to choose differently, even in the face of circumstances that may influence their decisions. They point to the subjective experience of making choices, the feeling of deliberation, and the ability to reflect on one's actions as evidence that free will exists. This debate often leads to discussions about moral responsibility, as if our actions are predetermined. Can we hold individuals accountable for their behavior? Interestingly, the concept of time adds another layer to this discussion. In physics, particularly with the theory of relativity, time is not seen as a fixed, linear progression, but rather as a dimension that can be warped by gravity and speed. This raises the question of whether time is an absolute entity that governs our choices, or if it is more like a fabric we can navigate, potentially altering our perception of when and how we make decisions. For instance, some theories suggest that if time is indeed malleable, could this imply that different moments in time could offer different possibilities for action, thus enhancing the argument for free will? Moreover, in psychology, the perception of time can influence decision-making processes. Studies have shown that when individuals feel rushed, they tend to rely on intuition rather than careful deliberation, which can lead to different outcomes than if they had taken their time to weigh options thoughtfully. This interplay between time pressure and choice further complicates our understanding of free will, as it suggests that our environment and context can significantly impact how we exercise our autonomy. Additionally, the idea of time travel, while still a theoretical concept, poses intriguing implications for free will. If time travel were possible, would it allow individuals to change their past decisions, or would any attempts to alter the past merely create alternate timelines, leaving the original choices intact in another reality? This thought experiment challenges eternalism. Is a philosophical concept that deals with the nature of time and existence, suggesting that all points in time, past, present, and future, are equally real, rather than just the present moment being the only reality, as is commonly believed. This view challenges our traditional understanding of time, which often implies a linear progression where the past is fixed and the future is uncertain. In eternalism, every moment exists simultaneously, much like how all locations in space are real, regardless of whether we are currently there. This perspective aligns with certain interpretations of physics, particularly in the realm of relativity, where time is treated as a dimension similar to space. One interesting implication of eternalism is the idea that events are not merely fleeting occurrences, but rather they occupy a more permanent status in the fabric of reality. For example, when we think of historical events, under an eternalist view, they are not just memories or stories, but are actual parts of the universe that exist in a different temporal dimension. This can lead to fascinating discussions about the nature of free will, as eternalism raises questions about whether our choices are predetermined by this fixed timeline, or if we have the ability to influence our future in a meaningful way. Eternalism also connects with some interpretations of quantum mechanics, where the behavior of particles can suggest that all possible states exist simultaneously until observed. This has led some theorists to propose that time itself might be more complex than our everyday experience suggests, with a reality that includes all possible pasts and futures coexisting in a vast, timeless landscape. Furthermore, eternalism can provide a comforting perspective on mortality, as it invites the idea that our loved ones and our experiences are not lost, but continue to exist in some form, allowing us to ponder the possibility of an everlasting connection beyond the constraints of a single lifetime. Philosophers like J.M. McTaggart have debated the implications of eternalism, arguing that our perception of time and change might be an illusion, leading to significant implications for how we understand reality and existence. In contrast, presentism, another philosophical view, argues that only the present is real and the past and future are not. This debate between eternalism and presentism continues to be a profound topic of discussion in both philosophy and science as thinkers explore the nature of time and how it shapes our understanding of existence. As we delve deeper into these concepts, it becomes clear that eternalism invites us to reconsider our relationship with time. An ever-present force in our lives, serves as a crucial measure of change, development. The limitable, as experienced by the histories we experience, to the evolution of cultures and societies. When we think about time, we often think about clocks and calendars, but it's much more than just numbers or dates. It's a deep, complex concept that shapes our understanding of the world around us. In nature, time can be observed in the gradual transformation of a caterpillar into a butterfly, a process known as metamorphosis, which can take several weeks and serves as a beautiful reminder of how change is often slow, but profoundly impactful. Similarly, geological time, which spans millions of years, unveils the slow but relentless shifts in the Earth's crust, leading to the formation of mountains, valleys, and even entire continents, illustrating that some changes are not just visible, but also incredibly significant over long periods. Culturally, societies measure change through historical timelines, documenting important events that have shaped human civilization. For example, the Renaissance marked a profound change in art, science, and thought, occurring over several centuries, leading to advancements that still influence us today. Time also plays a role in how we perceive personal growth. Individuals often reflect on their lives, noting how experiences, education, and relationships have altered their perspectives and goals over time. This introspective measure of change is essential for personal development, as it allows people to see where they have come from and where they are heading. In the realm of science, time is a critical component in experiments and observations. Scientists often rely on time as a variable to measure reactions, growth rates, or decay. For instance, when studying radioactive decay, scientists can calculate the half-life of a substance, which tells them how long it takes for half of the material to change into another element. This understanding is vital for fields like archaeology, where carbon dating uses time as a measure to determine the age of ancient artifacts, allowing us to piece together the timeline of human history. Furthermore, in psychology, the perception of time can change based on our experiences. Research has shown that time seems to pass more quickly as we age, which some psychologists attribute to the fact that new experiences become less frequent, making each moment feel less significant. Conversely, during intense experiences like a thrilling adventure or a challenging event, time can feel like it slows down, illustrating how subjective our understanding of time can be. Moreover, time also influences our relationship with biological clocks, often referred to as circadian rhythms, play a crucial role in regulating the body's internal processes, such as sleep-wake cycles, hormone release, and even eating habits. These rhythms are influenced by external cues like light and temperature, which help synchronize our internal clock with the environment. For instance, when the sun rises, the increase in light signals our brains to reduce the production of melatonin, the hormone responsible for sleepiness, allowing us to wake up and feel alert. Conversely, as the day transitions into night, the decrease in light triggers melatonin production, signaling that it's time to wind down and prepare for sleep. Interestingly, these biological clocks are not just limited to humans. They are found in nearly all living organisms, including plants, animals, and even microorganisms. In plants, for example, biological clocks regulate processes like photosynthesis, ensuring that they open and close their leaves at the right times to maximize sunlight exposure. Research has shown that disruptions to these biological clocks, such as those caused by shift work or irregular sleep patterns, can lead to various health issues, including sleep disorders, obesity, and even cardiovascular diseases. Studies have indicated that people who work night shifts are at a higher risk for these conditions, as their internal clocks become misaligned with the natural light-dark cycle. This misalignment can lead to what is known as social jet lag, a situation where one's internal clock is out of sync with their social obligations, such as work or school, causing feelings of fatigue and decreased performance. Moreover, the study of biological clocks extends beyond humans and animals. Researchers are increasingly interested in how these rhythms affect ecosystems. For instance, many animals have adapted their behaviors, such as mating or foraging, to align with their circadian rhythms, which can be crucial for survival. In some species, the timing of these behaviors is so precise that it can be affected by even slight changes in their environment, such as shifts in temperature or light. This brings us to the fascinating phenomenon of seasonal rhythms, where the biological clocks of organisms adjust to changing seasons, influencing migration patterns, breeding seasons, and hibernation cycles. The implications of understanding biological clocks also extend into the realm of medicine. Chronotherapy, a treatment approach that takes into account the timing of medication administration, is gaining traction. The idea is that by aligning medication schedules with the body's natural rhythms, patients can achieve better outcomes. For instance, certain medications may be more effective when taken at specific times of the time. As we understand it, is not just a simple measurement of hours and minutes, but rather a complex social construct that has evolved over centuries, shaped by cultures, technologies, and human experiences. Different societies have developed unique ways of perceiving and organizing time, which influences everything from daily routines to major life events. For example, in many Western cultures, time is often viewed linearly, moving from the past through the present and into the future. This perspective promotes a sense of urgency and efficiency, leading to a focus on schedules and deadlines. In contrast, some indigenous cultures perceive time as cyclical, viewing life in terms of seasons and natural cycles, where past, present, and future are interconnected and constantly influencing one another. This cyclical view fosters a deep respect for nature and the environment, emphasizing harmony and balance. Moreover, the advent of technology has further transformed our relationship with time. The invention of the clock, and later digital timekeeping, has led to a more standardized conception of time, which is particularly evident in the modern workplace, where punctuality is highly valued. This shift has consequences, as people often feel pressured to conform to strict schedules, leading to stress and a sense of lost personal time. Interestingly, research has shown that cultures with a more relaxed attitude toward time, like those in Latin America or parts of Africa, often prioritize relationships and community over strict adherence to the clock, which can lead to different social dynamics and a more laid-back lifestyle. Additionally, the way we divide our time into units, such as weeks, months, and years, reflects cultural significance. For instance, the concept of the weekend, a relatively modern invention, highlights the importance of leisure and time off in certain societies, while in others, the idea of work-life balance may not exist at all, leading to different social expectations and norms. Furthermore, the significance of specific dates or periods can also vary widely from culture to culture. For example, New Year's celebrations are marked by unique customs across different parts of the world. In Japan, the celebration of the New Year, or shogatsu, is steeped in traditions that emphasize renewal and reflection, while in the United States, the focus might be more on parties and fireworks, showcasing a more festive and celebratory approach. The concept of time zones is another fascinating aspect of how societies construct time. The Earth is divided into 24 time zones. Yet this division is a human-made system, created to facilitate international communication and temporal. Illusions are fascinating phenomena where our perception of time can be dramatically skewed, leading us to feel that time has either sped up or slowed down. This experience can occur in various situations, such as when we're engaged in an enjoyable activity, time seems to fly by, while during a boring or stressful moment, it can feel like time is dragging on forever. One interesting explanation for this is linked to the brain's processing of information. When we're focused and fully engaged, our brain absorbs more details, creating a richer memory of the experience, which can make it seem as if it lasted longer. Conversely, during monotonous moments, fewer details are processed, and we may have less to remember, making the time feel shorter. Moreover, studies have shown that our perception of time can even change with age. Younger people often report time passing more slowly than older individuals. This shift might be attributed to the number of new experiences we have in our youth compared to adulthood, when life can become more routine and predictable. Additionally, cultural factors play a role in how we perceive time. For example, in some cultures, time is viewed more fluidly, while in others, it is seen as a strict commodity, which can influence how individuals experience its passage. Another intriguing aspect of temporal illusions is the phenomenon known as the time dilation, which occurs when individuals are under extreme stress or excitement. For instance, during a car accident, many people report that time seemed to slow down. allowing them to perceive every detail of the situation, even though it happened in mere seconds. This can be explained by the fight or flight response. In high-stakes situations, adrenaline floods the system, enhancing our awareness and perception of time. Interestingly, researchers have also found that music can affect our sense of time. When we listen to fast-paced music, we often feel like time is moving quickly, while slower melodies can create a feeling of time stretching out. This connection between rhythm and time perception is an area of ongoing research, revealing how our senses intertwine to shape our realities. Additionally, dreaming can alter our perception of time. When we dream, we often experience events that feel like they last for hours or even days, while in reality, only a few minutes of real time might pass. This discrepancy raises questions about how our brains construct time during sleep, suggesting that time might not be as linear as we typically perceive it to be. Overall, temporal illusions remind us that our understanding of time is not. Time plays a fundamental role in scientific theories, influencing how we understand the universe and its workings, from the tiniest particles to the vast cosmos. In physics, for instance, time is often treated as a fourth dimension, alongside the three dimensions of space. This concept, which emerged from Einstein's theory of relativity, revolutionized our understanding of gravity, motion, and the structure of space-time. According to this theory, time is not an absolute entity. Rather, it can stretch, compress, and bend, depending on the speed of an object and the influence of gravity, leading to fascinating phenomena like time dilation, where time runs slower in stronger gravitational fields, or for objects moving at high speeds. In addition to physics, time is also a crucial element in biology, particularly in the study of evolution. The concept of deep time allows scientists to comprehend the vast timescales over which evolutionary changes occur. Understanding that life on Earth has evolved over billions of years through countless generations helps researchers piece together the history of life, analyze fossil records, and understand how species adapt to their environments over long periods. This perspective highlights the importance of time in shaping not just individual organisms, but entire ecosystems and the planet itself. In the realm of climate science, time plays a vital role in understanding climate change and its impacts. Scientists use historical data, gathered over decades and even centuries, to analyze trends and patterns in temperature, precipitation, and weather events. By looking at time series data, researchers can determine the rate at which climate change is occurring and predict future scenarios, helping societies prepare for the potential consequences of a warming planet. This temporal analysis is essential for developing effective strategies to mitigate climate impacts and adapt to changing conditions. In psychology, the perception of time can significantly affect human behavior and decision-making. Research shows that our subjective experience of time can vary depending on numerous factors, such as age, mood, and context. For example, when people are engaged in enjoyable activities, time seems to fly, while during stressful or boring situations, it can drag on. This subjective experience of time influences how we prioritize tasks, manage our lives, and even how we perceive the passing of time in relation to our goals and aspirations. In the field of cosmology, the concept of time is intertwined with the origin and fate of the universe. The Big Bang Theory, which describes the universe's beginnings, is based on the understanding that time itself began with this monumental event, marking the start of space and time as we know it. Time, a concept that has fascinated humans for centuries, is often explored through the lens of existential philosophy, which delves into the nature of existence, freedom, and the human experience. Philosophers like Martin Heidegger and Jean-Paul Sartre have profoundly contemplated the relationship between time and being. Heidegger, for instance, viewed time as an integral part of our existence, suggesting that understanding our relationship with time is essential to understanding our very being. He introduced the idea of being toward death, emphasizing that our awareness of mortality shapes our experiences and choices. This concept suggests that time is not merely a measurement of hours and minutes, but a crucial element that influences how we live and perceive our existence. Sartre, on the other hand, focused on the idea of freedom and choice, arguing that individuals must confront the reality of their existence in time. He posited that, while we are often defined by our past experiences, we have the power to shape our future through our choices, thus creating a sense of meaning and purpose in an otherwise indifferent universe. This existential approach to time challenges the traditional linear view, encouraging us to see time as a fluid construct that allows for personal agency and the possibility of change. Furthermore, existential philosophy prompts us to consider how our perceptions of time impact our lives. For instance, when we experience moments of joy, time seems to fly by, whereas during moments of suffering, it can drag on endlessly. This subjective experience of time can lead to profound insights about our state of being and our connection to the world around us. Additionally, existential thinkers often emphasize the importance of living authentically in the present moment, suggesting that by fully engaging with the here and now, we can transcend the anxieties of the future and the regrets of the past. The exploration of time in existential thought also intersects with the concept of temporality, which refers to our lived experience of time. This perspective highlights the idea that our existence is marked by a constant flow of experiences, creating a rich tapestry of memories, hopes, and dreams. By reflecting on our temporality, we can gain a deeper understanding of ourselves and our place in the universe. Moreover, existential philosophy invites us to confront the absurdity of life, as articulated by thinkers like Albert Camus. He argued that, in a world devoid of inherent meaning, the passage of time can feel particularly daunting. However, rather than succumbing to despair, Camus advocated for embracing the absurd. The experience of time can vary significantly across different age groups, and this phenomenon is influenced by psychological, social, and biological factors. For children, time often feels like it moves slowly, as each day is filled with new experiences, discoveries, and learning. A week can feel like a month, and a summer vacation can seem like an eternity, primarily because their brains are absorbing so much new information, and the novelty of experiences makes time feel elongated. As they grow and develop, their perception of time begins to shift. Teenagers, for instance, often feel time speeding up, especially as they juggle school, social lives, and the pressures of impending adulthood. This acceleration can be attributed to the increasing familiarity with routines and responsibilities, which makes days blend together, diminishing the sense of novelty that characterized their childhood. In contrast, young adults often have a mixed experience of time. Many find themselves caught in a whirlwind of career building, relationships, and personal development. Their perception of time may feel erratic, as the busy pace of life can lead to days flying by. Yet significant life events, such as graduations or weddings, can feel like milestones that stretch time in the other direction. As individuals reach middle age, the perception of time can shift again, often feeling like it is passing more quickly. This can be due to the realization of life's fleeting nature, as well as the routine and predictability that often settles in during this phase. People in this age group may reflect more on their past, leading to a sense of urgency to achieve goals, which can further warp their experience of time. For the elderly, the experience of time can become even more complex. Many older adults report that time seems to speed up, a phenomenon sometimes referred to as time compression. This can stem from fewer novel experiences as they retire from work, and their daily lives become more routine. Additionally, as they reminisce about their lives, they may find that the past feels more expansive and the present more fleeting. Social connections also play a significant role in how time is experienced. Older adults who maintain strong relationships often report a more satisfying and richer experience of time as they engage in meaningful interactions and activities. Moreover, the concept of time can be deeply influenced by cultural factors, where different societies may have varied attitudes toward aging, productivity, and the value of time itself, shaping how individuals in those cultures perceive the passage of time throughout their lives. Interestingly, studies suggest that the way we mark time, the way we perceive time, it turns out, can be significantly influenced by our environment, affecting how we experience moments, whether they are fleeting or seem to stretch on forever. Research has shown that various factors, such as lighting, sounds, and even the colors around us, can alter our sense of time. For instance, studies indicate that brighter lights can lead to a sense of time passing more quickly, while dim lighting can make time feel like it's dragging on. This phenomenon is often experienced in places like offices, where fluorescent lights can create an environment that makes the hours feel shorter, while a cozy, warm-lit room might encourage a more leisurely experience of time. Additionally, the sounds in our environment play a crucial role in how we perceive time. When people are in a noisy setting, like a bustling cafe, they often report that time seems to fly by, whereas in a quiet, serene space, such as a library or a park, moments can feel more prolonged. This can be explained by the brain's way of processing stimuli. When it is bombarded with sounds, it tends to focus on those distractions, making us less aware of the passing time. Moreover, our emotional state, influenced by our surroundings, can also affect time perception. For example, when we are engaged in an enjoyable activity, like spending time with friends or indulging in a hobby, we often lose track of time, a phenomenon known as flow. Conversely, when we are in a stressful or uncomfortable environment, time can feel like it is dragging, leading us to constantly check the clock, wishing for the moment to end. The culture surrounding us also shapes our perception of time. In fast-paced urban settings, where the hustle and bustle is part of daily life, people often feel rushed, leading to a perception that time moves quickly. In contrast, cultures that prioritize relaxation and leisure, such as certain island communities, may foster a slower, more relaxed feeling of time, where the clock seems to take a back seat to the enjoyment of the moment. Temperature, too, plays a role. Research shows that people in warmer environments tend to perceive time as moving more slowly, perhaps because warmth is often associated with comfort and relaxation. In colder settings, however, where people may feel more tense or uncomfortable, time can seem to speed up, as individuals are often eager to seek warmth or comfort. Interestingly, virtual environments created by technology also influence our time perception. In virtual reality settings, where time in literature, particularly in narrative structure, is a fascinating topic, as it shapes how stories unfold and how readers engage with them. Writers often manipulate time to enhance storytelling, creating a rich tapestry of experiences that can evoke various emotions and reactions. For instance, some narratives are linear, following a straightforward progression from beginning to end, while others employ non-linear structures, jumping back and forth through time. This technique allows authors to reveal critical information at strategic moments, which can increase suspense or deepen the reader's understanding of characters and their motivations. A prime example of non-linear storytelling can be found in the works of authors like Virginia Woolf and Gabriel Garcia Marquez, who often weave memories and flashbacks into their narratives. In Woolf's Mrs. Dalloway, the story oscillates between the present and the past, illustrating how memories can shape one's identity and perceptions. Similarly, in Marquez's 100 Years of Solitude, the concept of time is cyclical, reflecting the idea that history often repeats itself, which adds a layer of complexity to the family saga depicted in the novel. Moreover, the manipulation of time can take various forms, such as foreshadowing and flashbacks, which serve to create anticipation and provide context, respectively. Foreshadowing hints at events to come, creating a sense of tension and intrigue that keeps readers engaged, while flashbacks can provide essential backstory, enriching the narrative and helping to explain characters' decisions and emotions. Additionally, authors might play with the perception of time itself, using techniques such as stream of consciousness, where the narrative flows in a manner that mimics the natural thought process of characters. This approach can create a dreamlike quality, blurring the lines between past and present, and immersing readers in the characters' inner worlds. James Joyce's Ulysses exemplifies this technique, as it captures a single day in the life of its protagonist, yet delves deeply into his thoughts and memories, illustrating how time can be both fleeting and eternal. In contemporary literature, the exploration of time continues to evolve, with some authors experimenting with formats like hypertext fiction, where readers can choose their path through the narrative, effectively altering the timeline as they engage with the text. This interactive approach challenges traditional narrative structures and allows for a more personalized reading experience, highlighting the versatility of time as a literary device. The concept of time also plays a significant role in genre fiction, particularly in science fiction. Rituals have long been a fascinating part of human culture, serving as a way to mark the passage of time, connect with tradition, and create a sense of community. Across different societies, rituals help individuals and groups commemorate significant events such as births, marriages, and deaths, as well as seasonal changes and agricultural cycles. For instance, many cultures celebrate the change of seasons, with festivals that not only honor nature, but also reinforce social bonds among participants. The spring equinox, for example, is often celebrated with various rituals that symbolize rebirth and renewal, emphasizing the cyclical nature of life and time. In addition to seasonal observances, rituals often serve to anchor individuals within a larger historical context. Many cultures have specific ceremonies that commemorate important historical events, such as Independence Days or revolutions, allowing people to reflect on their shared past and identity. These rituals can include parades, speeches, and communal gatherings, which foster a sense of belonging and continuity. Through these acts, people are reminded of their heritage, creating a collective memory that shapes their understanding of the present and future. Rituals also play a crucial role in personal transitions, marking significant life stages. Coming-of-age ceremonies, for instance, are prevalent in many societies, symbolizing the transition from childhood to adulthood. These rituals often involve specific rites or challenges that the individual must complete, serving to signify their readiness to take on new responsibilities. Such practices not only provide a framework for understanding growth, but also create a supportive environment where community members celebrate the individual's achievements. Moreover, the repetition of rituals can provide a comforting rhythm to life, offering a sense of stability in an ever-changing world. Daily rituals, such as morning routines or evening prayers, help establish a sense of normalcy and predictability. These small yet meaningful actions can ground individuals, allowing them to navigate the complexities of life with greater ease. In times of uncertainty or distress, engaging in familiar rituals can provide emotional solace, helping people cope with stress or grief. Rituals also serve as a way to connect with the divine or the spiritual realm, reflecting humanity's quest for meaning and understanding. Many religions incorporate rituals into their practices, using them as a means to foster a deeper connection with the sacred. For instance, in Christianity, the act of communion is a ritual that commemorates the Last Supper and symbolizes a spiritual union with Christ. Similarly, in Hinduism, rituals known as pujas are performed to honor deities. Time, often described as the most valuable resource, holds a unique economic value that influences decisions in various aspects of life, from personal choices to larger business strategies. In economics, time is often measured in terms of opportunity cost, which refers to the value of what you give up when you choose one option over another. This concept underscores the idea that time spent on one activity cannot be reclaimed, and the benefits that could have been gained from alternative activities are lost. For instance, if a person spends an hour commuting to work instead of engaging in a freelance project, they are not only losing that hour, but also the potential income from the project, highlighting the tangible cost associated with their time. Moreover, the idea of time as an economic asset extends to productivity, where businesses often analyze how to maximize output while minimizing time spent. The old adage, "time is money," rings true in many industries, prompting companies to invest in technologies and processes that save time. For example, automation in manufacturing has significantly reduced production times, allowing businesses to produce more goods in a shorter time frame, which in turn can lead to increased profits. This relationship between time and economic value becomes particularly relevant in the context of the gig economy, where freelancers and contractors often price their services based on the time they anticipate spending on a project, thus directly linking their time to their economic return. Additionally, the perception of time can vary greatly depending on cultural contexts. In some cultures, time is viewed as a linear progression, leading to a strong emphasis on punctuality and efficiency. In contrast, other cultures may view time more fluidly, prioritizing relationships and experiences over strict adherence to schedules. This cultural difference can affect economic interactions such as negotiations or business meetings, where a strict time frame may be seen as less important in some societies compared to others. Understanding these nuances is crucial for international business, as misalignments in time perception can lead to misunderstandings and frustrations. Another interesting aspect of time's economic value is its role in investment decisions. Investors often consider the time horizon of their investments, weighing short-term gains against long-term growth. The time value of money is a fundamental principle in finance, stating that a specific amount of money today is worth more than the same amount in the future, due to its potential earning capacity. This principle encourages individuals and businesses to invest sooner rather than later, as the potential returns on investments can grow exponentially over time, further emphasizing the importance of time in economic planning. In the realm of the philosophical debate on time's existence is a fascinating and complex topic that has intrigued thinkers for centuries. Many philosophers, scientists, and even poets have pondered whether time is a real entity or merely a convenient way for humans to understand change and existence. Some, like the ancient Greek philosopher Parmenides, argued that time does not truly exist, suggesting that change is an illusion, and since change implies time, then time itself must also be illusory. This perspective leads to the idea that the only reality is the eternal now, where everything exists in a static state, a view that challenges our everyday experience, where we perceive past, present, and future as distinct phases of existence. On the other hand, philosophers like Heraclitus posited that change is the fundamental essence of the universe, famously stating that you cannot step into the same river twice, emphasizing that everything is in constant flux, thus implying that time must exist as a measure of this change. This brings us to the concept of time as a dimension, similar to space, where events occur in a sequence, and a more contemporary view holds that time is intertwined with the fabric of space-time, a revolutionary idea proposed by Albert Einstein in the early 20th century. Einstein's theory of relativity fundamentally changed the way we understand time, showing that it is not absolute, but rather relative, depending on the observer's speed and gravitational field. Another interesting angle in this debate is the distinction between physical time. Physical time refers to the measurable seconds, minutes, and hours we use to quantify events, while psychological time relates to how we perceive time passing, which can vary greatly depending on our experiences and emotions. For instance, time may seem to fly by during enjoyable moments, but feel like it drags during periods of boredom or distress, highlighting the subjective nature of our experience of time. Moreover, the debate extends into metaphysics, particularly concerning the nature of past, present, and future. The presentist view holds that only the present moment is real, while the past and future are not, leading to implications about our understanding of causation and existence. In contrast, eternalism posits that past, present, and future events are equally real, suggesting a more block universe perspective where all points in time coexist. This raises intriguing questions about time travel, causality, and free will, challenging our intuitive understanding of how we navigate through life. Meditation has a fascinating impact on our perception of time, something many people may not realize. When individuals engage in meditation practices, they often report a shift in how they experience time, which can be quite profound. For instance, during meditation, many practitioners find that they lose track of time entirely. Minutes can feel like hours, while hours can seem to pass in just a few moments. This phenomenon can be attributed to the deep state of relaxation that meditation induces, allowing the mind to enter a different state of consciousness, where the usual markers of time become blurred. Research suggests that meditation can alter brain activity, particularly in areas associated with attention and sensory perception. This change can lead to a heightened sense of presence in the moment, often referred to as mindfulness. When one is fully immersed in the present, the usual rush of time can slow down, creating a feeling of timelessness. Studies conducted with experienced meditators reveal increased activity in the default mode network of the brain, which is associated with self-referential thoughts and daydreaming. This can lead to an expanded awareness of the present moment, shifting the focus away from the relentless ticking of the clock. Moreover, meditation can help cultivate a greater awareness of one's own thoughts and feelings, which can further enhance one's experience of time. When people are more attuned to their internal states, they may find themselves engaging with their surroundings in a more meaningful way, noticing details they might typically overlook. This engagement can make time feel richer and more substantial, as if every moment is filled with significance. The practice of focusing on the breath, for example, can anchor individuals in the here and now, allowing them to savor each breath rather than rushing through life. Interestingly, some research even indicates that regular meditation can lead to changes in how we age, affecting our perception of time as we grow older. People who meditate often report feeling younger, as if time is moving more slowly for them. This could be because meditation encourages a positive mindset, reducing stress and promoting emotional well-being. When individuals are less stressed, they tend to experience time differently, often feeling that they have more time available to them, which can lead to a more fulfilling and balanced life. Additionally, meditation has been shown to improve attention span and concentration. This enhancement can contribute to a more profound experience of time, as individuals become more focused and less distracted by the hustle and bustle of daily life. When one is fully engaged in a task or in nature, for instance, the nature of future events is a fascinating topic, one that has intrigued philosophers, scientists, and thinkers throughout history. At its core, this question revolves around whether our futures are predetermined, as if written in a cosmic script, or if they remain open, shaped by our choices and actions. Some schools of thought, such as determinism, suggest that every event is the result of preceding events, governed by natural laws, which implies that the future is already set in motion, leaving little room for individual influence. This perspective can be linked to scientific theories, like those found in classical mechanics, where the behavior of objects can be predicted with high accuracy if their initial conditions are known. On the other hand, quantum mechanics introduces an element of randomness, where particles can exist in multiple states until observed, suggesting that not everything is predetermined and that there is an inherent uncertainty in the fabric of reality. In contrast, the concept of free will emphasizes the ability of individuals to make choices which can influence the future. This idea has significant implications for morality and responsibility, as it suggests that we have the power to shape our destinies through our decisions. Philosophers like Jean-Paul Sartre argued that existence precedes essence, meaning that we are not defined by any predetermined nature. Instead, we create ourselves through our actions. This perspective raises questions about fate and whether events unfold according to a grand design or through the myriad of choices made by countless individuals. In addition to philosophical implications, this debate also extends into the realms of psychology and sociology. Research in these fields often examines how beliefs about the future affect behavior. For instance, individuals who believe in a predetermined future may be more passive, feeling that their actions have little impact on outcomes, while those who see the future as open might be more proactive, taking initiative to create their desired paths. This interplay between belief and behavior can significantly impact personal development and societal progress. Culturally, different societies interpret the nature of future events in various ways, influenced by religious and spiritual beliefs. In some traditions, the concept of fate is deeply embedded, with ideas of destiny playing a crucial role in understanding life events. In others, the focus may be more on individual agency and the idea that people can forge their own paths. These cultural narratives shape how communities respond to change, adversity, and opportunity. Moreover, advancements in technology, particularly in artificial intelligence and predictive analytics, have added another layer to this discussion. With the ability to analyze vast amounts of data and forecast, the relationship between time and space is a fascinating topic that has intrigued scientists, philosophers, and curious minds alike for centuries. At its core, this relationship suggests that time and space are interconnected, forming the very fabric of our universe. In the early 20th century, Albert Einstein revolutionized our understanding of this relationship with his theories of relativity. He proposed that time is not a constant, ticking away uniformly, but rather it can stretch and bend depending on the speed at which an object is moving and the gravitational forces it experiences. This means that time can pass more slowly for someone traveling at a high speed compared to someone who is stationary, a phenomenon known as time dilation. This concept is not just theoretical, it has practical implications that have been confirmed through experiments such as those involving atomic clocks on fast-moving aircraft or satellites. Furthermore, space and time are often referred to together as space-time, a four-dimensional continuum that combines the three dimensions of space with the dimension of time. This idea allows us to visualize events occurring not just in space, but also in time, creating a more comprehensive understanding of how we experience the universe. When we think about gravity, it's interesting to note that it's not just a force acting at a distance, but rather it can be understood as a curvature of space-time itself. Massive objects like planets and stars warp the fabric of space-time around them, causing other objects to follow curved paths, which we perceive as gravitational attraction. Moreover, the implications of this relationship extend beyond our solar system and into the realms of cosmology. The expansion of the universe, a concept first observed by Edwin Hubble in the 1920s, suggests that space itself is stretching, causing galaxies to move away from us over time. This expansion affects our understanding of the age of the universe, leading scientists to estimate that it began around 13.8 billion years ago with the Big Bang. As we study the cosmos, we also find that observations of distant galaxies reveal that their light takes billions of years to reach us, meaning we see them not as they are now, but as they were in the past, providing a glimpse into the history of the universe itself. In addition to these scientific insights, the relationship between time and space has also influenced art and literature, prompting writers and artists to explore themes of time travel, alternate realities, and the nature of existence. Works of fiction such as H.G. Wells' The Time. In the realm of postmodern thought, the concept of time often emerges as a complex and intriguing illusion, sparking discussions that challenge traditional understandings of temporality. Thinkers like Jean-François Lyotard and Jacques Derrida delve into the idea that time is not a linear progression, but rather a fragmented experience, shaped by cultural narratives and individual perceptions. This perspective suggests that our understanding of past, present, and future is influenced heavily by the context in which we find ourselves, leading to a sense of temporal disorientation. For instance, in postmodern literature, narratives may jump back and forth in time, reflecting this fractured experience, where the past can bleed into the present and futures can be imagined in myriad ways, thus questioning the very nature of chronological order. Moreover, the impact of digital technology on our perception of time cannot be overlooked. In a world saturated with instant communication, where information is available at our fingertips, the traditional rhythms of time seem to be accelerating, leading to a phenomenon often referred to as time compression. This compression creates a sense of urgency, altering how we experience moments as we rush from one task to another, often losing sight of the present. The postmodern condition therefore invites us to reconsider how we relate to time, prompting us to ask whether the past is truly fixed or if it can be reinterpreted and reshaped by current events and ideas. Additionally, the philosophy of time in postmodern thought raises questions about the reliability of memory. Memories may not be accurate reflections of past events, but rather constructions, influenced by present circumstances and cultural narratives. This leads to the idea that our personal histories are not straightforward accounts, but rather complex tapestries, woven from our experiences, beliefs, and the societal context in which we live. The implications of this perspective are profound, as they challenge the notion of objective truth, suggesting instead that our understanding of history is subjective and fluid. In a broader sense, the postmodern view of time encourages a playful engagement with history and memory. Rather than adhering to a strict timeline, postmodern thinkers often advocate for a more flexible interpretation of past events, allowing for multiple perspectives and interpretations. This can be seen in various artistic expressions, where timelines are bent and reshaped, inviting audiences to experience time in a non-linear fashion. Such artistic explorations highlight the malleability of time, emphasizing that our engagement with the past is not merely about recollection, but also about reimagining what has come. The concept of time in indigenous cultures is often vastly different from the linear, structured understanding that many Western societies adhere to. In many indigenous communities, time is viewed more as a cyclical and relational experience, rather than a strict sequence of events. For example, in various Native American cultures, there is a strong emphasis on the interconnectedness of all things, and this perspective shapes their understanding of time. Events are not only seen as past, present, or future, but are often understood in relation to seasons, natural cycles, and the rhythms of life, the changing seasons, the migration of animals, and the growth cycles of plants. all influence how time is perceived and experienced, creating a deep connection to the land and its offerings. Moreover, storytelling plays a crucial role in how time is understood. Oral traditions are prevalent in many indigenous cultures, where stories are passed down through generations. These narratives often intertwine past, present, and future, highlighting lessons and wisdom that remain relevant across time. In this sense, time is not just a linear progression, but a tapestry woven from experiences, teachings, and histories that inform present actions and future possibilities. Community gatherings, rituals, and ceremonies also embody this cyclical concept of time, as they often celebrate the same events each year, reinforcing the importance of tradition and continuity. Additionally, the relationship with ancestors is significant in the perception of time. Many indigenous cultures hold that the past is not gone, but rather a living presence that continues to influence the present. Ancestral wisdom is revered, and ceremonies often honor those who came before, creating a bridge between the past and the present. This perspective fosters a sense of belonging and responsibility, as individuals are seen as part of a larger narrative that spans generations. This connection to ancestry can also influence how future generations are viewed. They are seen as inheritors of knowledge, culture, and land, tasked with carrying forward the teachings and traditions of their people. In terms of daily life, this understanding of time can manifest in more flexible routines, where the emphasis is on being present and engaged with the moment, rather than adhering to a rigid schedule. Treat that intention of a higher value. This entire situation is precedence over efficiency, reflecting a more organic relationship with time that values experience over efficiency. This can lead to a different approach to work, leisure, and social interactions, where the quality of relationships and experiences is prioritized over the constraints of time. The contrast memory plays a fascinating role in how we perceive and construct our understanding of time, shaping our experiences and influencing our decisions. When we think about memories, we often think of them as snapshots of moments, but they are in fact much more than just static images. They are dynamic, fluid constructs that can change over time. Our memories allow us to create a timeline of our lives, connecting past experiences to present moments, and even influencing future expectations. This intricate connection between memory and time can be seen in how we recall significant events, such as birthdays or historical milestones, which often feel more vivid and emotionally charged than mundane experiences. Interestingly, the way we remember these events can shift based on context. For instance, sharing a story with a friend can enhance or alter the memory itself, highlighting the social aspect of memory formation. Additionally, studies show that our brains prioritize emotional memories, making them more accessible and often more detailed, which can lead to a skewed perception of time, where certain periods seem longer or shorter based on the intensity of experiences. Moreover, our understanding of time is often influenced by the way we categorize memories. For example, we might group events by themes, such as vacations, achievements, or losses, which can create a narrative structure that helps us make sense of our lives. This narrative construction can lead to what psychologists refer to as autobiographical memory, where we weave together memories to form a coherent story about who we are and where we've been. This storytelling aspect of memory not only shapes our identity but also affects how we perceive the passage of time. Moments filled with joy may feel like they flew by, while times of hardship can seem to stretch endlessly. Furthermore, The phenomenon known as chronostasis, where the first impression of a new experience can feel longer than it actually is, illustrates how memory can distort our perception of time. This can happen during significant life changes, like moving to a new city or starting a new job, where the novelty of the experience causes us to pay more attention, making those moments feel more substantial in our memory. In contrast, when we engage in routine activities, they may blend together, leading to a feeling that time is passing quickly, which is sometimes referred to as the time flies effect. Interestingly, research indicates that cultural differences also play a role in how we perceive and remember time. Some cultures view time linearly, focusing on the past, present, and future as distinct phases. Time and emotional experience are intertwined in ways that shape our perception of both past and present, affecting how we recall memories, experience events, and anticipate the future. Research in psychology suggests that our emotional state can significantly influence how we perceive the passage of time. For example, when we are engaged in enjoyable activities, time seems to fly by, whereas during moments of boredom or distress, time can feel like it stretches on indefinitely. This phenomenon is often referred to as time distortion, and it highlights how emotions can warp our sense of time. Moreover, our memories of past experiences are often colored by the emotions we felt at the time, which can create a nostalgic bias. Studies have shown that emotionally charged events, whether positive or negative, are more likely to be remembered vividly than neutral events. This is partly due to the role of the amygdala, a part of the brain involved in processing emotions, which helps to encode memories more strongly when we experience heightened feelings. Consequently, people often recall significant life events, such as weddings or graduations, with great detail and emotion, while more mundane moments fade from memory. Interestingly, the emotional experience of time can also influence our decision-making. When people are in a positive emotional state, they tend to make more optimistic choices, often underestimating risks, while negative emotions can lead to more cautious and risk-averse decisions. This relationship between emotion and time perception plays a crucial role in areas like marketing, where understanding how emotions can affect consumer behavior over time can lead to more effective strategies. Furthermore, the concept of future time perspective relates to how our emotional experiences shape our goals and aspirations. People who maintain a positive outlook on the future, often fueled by past successes and joyful memories, are more likely to set ambitious goals and pursue them with enthusiasm. In contrast, those who dwell on negative experiences may find themselves feeling stuck or hopeless, leading to a more limited view of what the future may hold. Cultural differences also play a significant role in how time and emotions are experienced. In some cultures, time is viewed as linear, with a focus on future planning, while others may see it as cyclical, emphasizing the importance of present experiences and community connections. This cultural perspective can influence how emotions are expressed and processed, affecting everything from personal relationships to broader social dynamics. In summary, the interplay between time and emotional experience is a rich field of study that reveals much about human psychology and behavior. Understanding this connection can help us navigate circadian rhythms, those natural, internal processes that follow a roughly 24-hour cycle, have a profound influence on our daily lives, affecting everything from our sleep patterns to our moods and even our eating habits. These rhythms are driven by an internal clock located in the brain's suprachiasmatic nucleus, which responds to light cues from the environment. When it's light outside, our bodies produce less melatonin, the hormone that makes us sleepy, and this helps us feel awake and alert during the day. Conversely, as the sun sets and darkness falls, melatonin production increases, signaling to our bodies that it's time to wind down and prepare for sleep. This intricate dance of hormones and biological processes helps regulate not only our sleep-wake cycles, but also our metabolism, immune function, and even our cardiovascular health. Interestingly, disruptions to these rhythms can lead to a variety of health issues. For instance, shift workers who often work overnight or irregular hours commonly experience sleep disorders, fatigue, and a higher risk of chronic diseases, including heart disease and diabetes. Research shows that when our circadian rhythms are out of sync with our daily activities, it can lead to what is known as circadian misalignment. This misalignment can manifest as insomnia, depression, and cognitive impairments, revealing just how crucial it is to maintain a regular sleep schedule that aligns with our natural biological clock. Moreover, the impact of circadian rhythms extends beyond just sleep. They play a significant role in how our bodies process food. Studies indicate that eating at irregular times or consuming a large meal late at night can disrupt our circadian rhythms, leading to issues like weight gain and metabolic syndrome. Our bodies are optimized to digest food more efficiently at certain times of the day, reflecting an evolutionary adaptation that aligns with the availability of food during daylight hours. This connection between our eating habits and circadian rhythms highlights the importance of meal timing, suggesting that having regular meal times can contribute to better overall health. Furthermore, circadian rhythms also affect our mental health and emotional well-being. Research has shown that individuals with mood disorders, such as bipolar disorder or depression, often have disrupted circadian rhythms. These disruptions can exacerbate symptoms, making it essential for those affected to establish a consistent routine that promotes stability in their daily lives. Light therapy, for instance, is a common treatment that helps realign these rhythms, particularly in individuals struggling with seasonal affective disorder, which occurs due to reduced exposure to natural light during certain times. In these deep, rhythmic irregularities, we're shown a quality that allows a piece of artwork to resonate with audiences across different eras, cultures, and contexts. This idea suggests that certain themes, emotions, and aesthetic qualities transcend the specific time period in which they were created, allowing them to remain relevant and appreciated long after their initial debut. One of the key factors contributing to this timelessness is the universality of the subject matter, which often explores fundamental human experiences such as love, loss, struggle, and joy. For instance, the works of Shakespeare, with their deep exploration of human nature, continue to be performed and studied today, illustrating how themes like ambition, betrayal, and desire are eternal. Additionally, the use of certain artistic techniques can also enhance a work's timeless quality. For example, the application of light and shadow, as seen in the paintings of Caravaggio, creates a dramatic effect that still captivates viewers, drawing them into the emotional landscape of the artwork. Similarly, the simplicity and elegance found in the works of artists like Claude Monet, with his impressionistic approach to capturing natural light and fleeting moments, evoke feelings that resonate regardless of when they were painted. Moreover, the cultural impact of a piece can contribute to its timelessness. Works that challenge societal norms or provoke thought often remain significant as they continue to inspire discussions and reflections. Picasso's Guernica, for instance, is not only a response to the horrors of war, but also serves as a powerful anti-war statement that is still relevant in contemporary discourse about conflict. The materials and methods used in art creation can also play a role in establishing timelessness. For example, sculptures made from stone or bronze have lasted for centuries, allowing us to appreciate the craftsmanship of ancient civilizations. The durability of these materials often means that the artworks can be experienced by future generations, thus contributing to their lasting significance. In addition, the emotional connection that art fosters can make it timeless. When viewers form a personal bond with a piece of art, it can transcend the specifics of time and place, creating a shared experience that resonates deeply. This emotional depth is often what draws individuals to revisit a particular artwork, finding new meanings and connections with each encounter. Finally, the ongoing reinterpretation of artworks through various lenses such as feminist, post-colonial or psychological perspectives can also keep them alive in cultural discussions, leading to renewed interest and appreciation across generations. This dynamic nature of art allows for continuous dialogue about its flow. Stress has a fascinating impact on how we perceive time, and this effect can vary significantly from person to person. When we experience stress, our bodies enter a heightened state of alertness, which can lead to a distortion in our sense of time. Research suggests that during stressful situations, individuals may feel as if time is slowing down. This phenomenon can be attributed to the brain's increased awareness and focus on details, as it processes more information in a shorter span of time. For example, people often report that during a car accident or a similar emergency, moments can feel stretched out, as if they are experiencing everything in slow motion. This is because, in such high-pressure situations, the brain is working overtime to analyze the environment, assess danger, and make quick decisions. On the flip side, chronic stress can lead to the opposite perception of time, where individuals may feel like time is flying by. When one is overwhelmed with daily responsibilities, deadlines, and emotional strain, they might notice that days, weeks, or even months seem to vanish. This can occur because under constant stress, the brain tends to focus on the immediate tasks at hand, often neglecting the passage of time itself. In these moments, people may find themselves caught in a cycle of reacting to stressors, rather than consciously experiencing their environment. Interestingly, studies have shown that stress can also affect how we remember past events, which can further influence our perception of time. When we are stressed, we tend to remember moments that were particularly intense or emotional, which can create a skewed timeline in our memories. This selective memory can make certain periods feel longer or shorter, depending on the intensity of the stress experienced during those times. Moreover, the way stress affects time perception can have practical implications, especially in fields like education and workplace performance. For instance, students who are stressed about exams may struggle with time management, feeling as though they have insufficient time to complete their tasks, while, in reality, they might have more time than perceived. Similarly, employees under pressure may rush through projects, leading to mistakes, because their focus is on the urgency rather than the actual time available. In addition, there is also a psychological aspect to consider. The perception of time under stress can be influenced by individual differences, such as personality traits and coping mechanisms. People who have a more optimistic outlook may handle stress differently, potentially leading to a more balanced perception of time, while those who are prone to anxiety might experience a heightened sense of time. In today's fast-pacing world, time has become a valuable commodity, much like money or resources, and this shift in perception has transformed how we live our daily lives. The concept of time as a commodity reflects our growing awareness that every moment counts, and as a result, people are constantly seeking ways to maximize their productivity, efficiency, and overall use of time. This idea is evident in the rise of various industries that cater to our need for time management, such as productivity apps, time tracking software, and even coaching services focused on optimizing our schedules. The impact of technology cannot be overstated, as it allows us to communicate, work, and access information faster than ever before, but it can also lead to an overwhelming sense of urgency, pushing us to constantly be on the lookout for ways to save time. Interestingly, the concept of time poverty has emerged, referring to the feeling that we never have enough time to accomplish everything we want or need to do. Many individuals experience this pressure, leading to stress and burnout as they juggle work, family, and personal commitments. In a society that glorifies busyness, it can become challenging to find moments of rest and leisure as the pressure to fill every minute with productivity becomes ingrained in our culture. The idea of hustle culture has become prevalent, promoting the notion that we should always be working hard, which can create a sense of guilt when we take time for ourselves. Moreover, businesses have recognized the value of time in their operations, often implementing strategies that prioritize speed and efficiency. For instance, companies are investing in automation and artificial intelligence to streamline processes, reduce waiting times, and ultimately save time for both their employees and customers. Fast delivery services, instant messaging platforms, and on-demand services highlight how businesses are continuously adapting to meet the expectations of a society that craves immediacy. However, this relentless pursuit of speed can lead to a devaluation of quality, as it may encourage a mindset that prioritizes quick solutions over thoughtful, well-crafted outcomes. In addition, the way we perceive leisure time has also evolved. The concept of me time has gained traction, emphasizing the need for individuals to carve out moments for relaxation and self-care amidst their busy schedules. This shift reflects a growing recognition of the importance of mental health and well-being, as people begin to understand that taking breaks and enjoying downtime can actually enhance productivity in the long run. As a result, various wellness industries have flourished. Physics plays a crucial role in understanding time, as it helps us grasp the nature of time, how it flows, and its relationship with space. Flowing uniformly, independent of the observer. This perspective was shaped by the work of Isaac Newton, who proposed that time is a constant, ticking away the same for everyone, everywhere. However, with the advent of Einstein's theory of relativity in the early 20th century, our understanding of time dramatically changed. According to relativity, time is not constant, but is affected by speed and gravity. For instance, the faster an object moves, the slower time passes for it relative to a stationary observer. This phenomenon is called time dilation, and it has been confirmed through numerous experiments, such as those involving atomic clocks on fast-moving jets or satellites. Moreover, general relativity introduced the idea that massive objects, like planets and stars, warp the fabric of space-time around them, causing time to pass more slowly in stronger gravitational fields. This means that an astronaut on the International Space Station, where gravity is weaker, experiences time slightly faster than someone on Earth, which has practical implications for GPS satellites, as they must account for this difference in time to provide accurate positioning data. Additionally, the concept of the arrow of time arises in physics, particularly in thermodynamics, which refers to the one-way direction of time from past to future, linked to the increase of entropy or disorder in a closed system. This idea suggests that while the laws of physics are mostly time-symmetric, meaning they work the same forwards and backwards, in time our everyday experience is not. We perceive time as moving in one direction, from a state of order to disorder. Philosophers and physicists alike grapple with the implications of time, questioning whether it is a fundamental component of the universe or merely a human construct. Some theories in quantum physics even suggest that time may not exist in the way we perceive it, raising intriguing questions about the nature of reality itself. The interplay between time, space, and gravity leads to deeper inquiries about the universe, inviting us to ponder our existence within it. In essence, physics provides a framework for understanding time, challenging our intuitive notions and revealing its intricate relationship with the cosmos, which continues to inspire scientific exploration and philosophical reflection. Daylight saving time, often seen as a simple shift of the clock, has a surprising impact on how we perceive time, light, and even our daily lives. When clocks spring forward in the spring, many people experience a shift in their daily routines, which can lead to a variety of psychological effects. For instance, studies suggest that the loss of an hour of sleep can affect mood, leading to increased irritability and a sense of time feeling rushed. This shift can alter our perception of how long tasks take, making them feel longer or shorter than they actually are, depending on our mental state during the transition. Moreover, the increased daylight in the evening can create a sense of optimism and energy, often referred to as the sunshine effect. This phenomenon occurs because more natural light in the evening can boost mood and productivity, leading to a perception that time is more plentiful. People may engage in more outdoor activities, social gatherings, and exercise, all of which can reinforce a positive outlook. However, this can also lead to a paradox where, despite having more daylight, individuals may feel overwhelmed by the number of activities they want to cram into the longer evenings, thus altering their perception of free time. Interestingly, research has shown that the transition into and out of daylight saving time can also impact our health. The disruption of our circadian rhythms, which govern our sleep-wake cycles, can lead to short-term health consequences, such as an increase in heart attacks and sleep disorders. This is especially evident in the days following the shift, where many people report feeling more tired and less focused. The perception of time can become skewed during these periods, as fatigue can make the day feel longer, leading to a sense of sluggishness. In addition, the cultural context surrounding daylight saving time can shape our perceptions. In regions where the practice is widely accepted, the shift may be viewed positively, heralding the arrival of spring and longer days, while in areas where it is less popular, the transition can be met with criticism and confusion. This cultural lens can influence how individuals experience the time change, affecting their overall satisfaction and perception of time as a whole. Furthermore, the impact of daylight saving time extends beyond individual perception. It also influences societal behaviors and economic activities. For instance, businesses often benefit from increased consumer spending during longer daylight hours, as people are more likely to engage in shopping and outdoor leisure activities. This can alter the perception of time in a commercial sense, with the concept of time as a fourth dimension is a fascinating idea that has intrigued scientists, philosophers, and thinkers for centuries. Traditionally, we think of the three dimensions of space, length, width, and height, as the framework through which we perceive the physical world. But the notion of time complicates this understanding in a compelling way. In the early 20th century, Albert Einstein revolutionized our understanding of time with his theory of relativity. He proposed that time is not a constant, unchanging entity, but rather a dynamic aspect of the universe that is intertwined with the three spatial dimensions. According to Einstein, time can be affected by speed and gravity. For instance, time moves slower for objects moving at speeds close to the speed of light compared to those at rest. This idea leads to the concept of space-time, where time and space are interwoven into a single, four-dimensional fabric. In this framework, events are identified by four coordinates, 3 for spatial location and 1 for time. This means that to fully understand an event, we must consider not only where it occurs, but also when it occurs, thereby giving time a physical dimension. The implications of viewing time as the fourth dimension are vast, influencing not just physics, but also our understanding of reality itself. For example, this perspective has led to the idea that the past, present, and future are all part of a single continuum, challenging our traditional, linear perception of time. Such a view aligns with some interpretations of quantum mechanics, which suggest that time may not be as straightforward as we perceive it. Moreover, the idea of time as a fourth dimension has inspired various artistic and literary expressions, prompting creators to explore themes that transcend the ordinary flow of time. In literature, works like Kurt Vonnegut's Slaughterhouse-Five play with the concept of time. illustrating the idea that all moments exist simultaneously as the protagonist experiences different parts of his life out of sequence. In visual arts, artists have depicted time and space through innovative techniques, inviting viewers to think beyond the conventional representation of time as a linear path. This exploration extends into the realm of technology as well, where advancements in virtual reality and simulations allow us to experience time and space in ways that challenge our traditional understanding. Philosophically, the idea of time as a fourth dimension raises profound questions about existence, causality, and the nature of reality. It invites us to ponder whether time is an illusion, a construct of human perception,